I'm Lucy Voss. Mary Van Valin has been such a positive influence on my life. I was able to sit down with her and talk to her a little more about who she is. I found out that Mary has not only been such a huge part of my life, but also a lot of people's lives in Traverse City and in the community. Mary came into the world in Jackson in 1946. She was born with 6 fingers and 6 toes, so a big question in her life was always, am I okay? She was very active as a child, and her father worked for the DNR, so Mary was exposed to the outdoors and formed a deep love for nature. She didn't have technology or television. The outdoors was all that mattered. Mary always loved to help others and decided at a very young age to open a preschool in her basement where she taught neighborhood kids. This inspired her to get a teaching degree. She graduated from Michigan State University and then Purdue. She got her first teaching job in Bay City schools. She met her husband in Midland. He was a Dow chemical engineer and had offers to move abroad. But both of their loves for nature urged them to move to Traverse City instead. They learned early on that quality of life and being close to nature was more important than having a large income. Mary started teaching at Oak Park Elementary in Traverse City and raised her family, who meant so much to her. Teaching is the love of her life, and she feels so grateful to do for a living what feels like play. I wanted to find out more about Mary, so I was able to sit down with a few of her close friends and other people that she's influenced. Elizabeth Dell works with Citizens Climate Lobby. They advocate at the federal level for a carbon fee and dividend policy that would reduce greenhouse gas emissions. She runs the local CCL chapter. So has Mary done anything for you in terms of outreach on climate?
Yes, we do a lot of events at Citizens Climate Lobby, and Mary has definitely been involved in some of those. And her warm attitude and her very inclusive attitude really helps when we're doing these things. One of our touchstones in Citizens Climate Lobby is always working with people from a place of appreciation, respect, and gratitude. And Mary perfectly exemplifies that. And it's very valuable in the outreach that she does to people because of how she can really try and touch on the things that we have in common as a starting point, which is really valuable.
I met with Skip Pruss. He served as Michigan's Chief Energy Officer during Governor Granholm's tenure. He knows a lot about energy policy in Michigan.
So I work on renewable energy, and Mary is a hero in that regard. Looking at the big picture, the greatest challenge of our time, I believe, is climate change. And the only way to address climate change is to transition to clean energy resources that don't emit carbon dioxide, carbon. And so local leadership, like people like Mary, are the people who make it happen on the ground. And that's so critically important.
So you've worked with Mary a lot through different projects, and I'm wondering if there's anything that sticks out of things that you've learned from her.
I guess more than anything else is what a difference one person in the community can make. The Traverse City Elementary School wouldn't have a solar project but for Mary. She's an inspiration to so many people. She's a leader, right? And when Mary does something, you're just naturally interested in it and you want to help her. And that's a really special capacity that she has.
Guerry Apple is a former science teacher, lifelong education advocate, former board member of Traverse City Area Public Schools, and a longtime friend and associate of Mary's.
In all the work that I did with her and that I observed her doing, she performed at the highest level in the most graceful and beautiful way, interacting with adults, teachers, and students. In Mary, I see 2 traits. She really brings to everything she does this spirit of grace, but also urgency. And because of that, she's amazingly successful in getting things done. The other thing I like about Mary is she never takes no for an answer, and that's allowed her to accomplish many things. The project at Traverse Heights was really driven by Mary, Kate, and the progressive principal. And they started with an idea, and they made that idea real. They were able to craft a grant, win funding from the tribe, and then actually see through the installation of the solar panels on the school, all the while engaging the students in the educational process of what the panels represented, how they were being sited, and then integrating them into the science and math curriculum. It's quite amazing what she was able to accomplish there.
I talked with Kate Madigan from Michigan Environmental Council. She worked with Mary on the Traverse Heights Solar Project. It was the very first renewable energy project for Traverse City schools.
You know, when we were working on one of our projects on the solar panels, it felt like every week there was a brand new hurdle that we didn't foresee. And she's so creative, thinking about different angles and different ways you can move forward.
So Kate, what do you think is so special about Mary?
She is in love with life. I think that's it. And she sees so clearly the kind of better world that we could have, and she wants that world and she's fighting for it. And I think that's what draws so many people to her.
My friends Elliott Kayson and Martin started the Students for Environmental Advocacy Club at Traverse City Central High School. So you guys took a trip to Washington, D.C. with the climate lobby, so can you tell me about that?
The idea just kind of naturally formed to bring a group of students to DC.
Mary came to the early meetings, got people fired up about CCL, and once we had the idea that, hey, instead of just 2 people going to DC, we could bring half the club, 15, and so she really made that happen, and without her, I mean, I don't think it would have happened.
And of course, at the beginning of all of it was Mary.
Yes. Definitely attribute a good chunk of that success to Mary. Really catalyzed it at the start.
I think Mary really embodies someone who takes their passion and kind of lets it manifest throughout other people. I think that was the biggest motivator, is to see someone who's just so passionate and driven to help the environment and have hope for the environment. She believes in us. She really believes in us as our generation.
For Mary, the most important thing for a human being is love, because we love what we protect, and a love for nature means you'll protect it.
Should we get one with those in the background? Yes. Does that work?
Ooh, that's nice. Is
that a good one?
Yeah.
I love those red ones in the background.
She showed me that you can rest in the assurance that the patterns of nature are solid. That's amazing. That's great. The Groundwork Center created the Milliken Leadership Award, which recognizes the community leaders who embody the legacy of the former Michigan governor and Traverse City resident, Governor William Milliken, and the late Helen Milliken. The award recognizes that a clean, healthy environment is necessary for a prosperous economy. Mary Van Valin's love for nature, good works, and ability to inspire others to take action means so much to me and our community. I'm so excited to say that Mary Van Valin is the recipient of the 2017 Milliken Leadership Award.